Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge and these are going to be my 5 signings that Manchester United must make this summer. Now, I've been wanting to do this video for a while. It's brilliant, it's interactive because you can get your 5 in the comments and we can all discuss them because everyone's going to have a different 5, different priorities, and even if we have the same priorities, we'll probably go for different players. So I've got 5 players. Hopefully Man United will sign more than that. We certainly can't be signing any less than that. But then again, Jason Wilcox is the director of football. I've also got a bit of topical news for you around an injury, but we'll do that in a little bit because I want to get straight into this. These are not in any particular order, by the way. I don't mind in what order we sign them as long as we sign these 5. So these are my 5 top tier signings for Manchester United to massively improve us next season when we will have Champions League football, in my opinion, but we need a squad. So, in the midfield, number 1 is Angelo Stiller of Stuttgart. For me, I've always said that he is the Bruno Fernandes signing, but a little bit deeper in the midfield. So Bruno being a number 10, came in from Sporting, was a transitional player for us and still is. Personality, leader, conductor, deliverer, and that's what Stiller can be as well. Fantastic player over the last couple of years for Stuttgart. They're doing particularly well this season. They're in the Champions League spots, which wasn't expected at the start of the season. He does play deeper in the midfield, primarily in the midfield too. Some people think he's lightweight. He's not. He's about 6 foot. He's okay in the air. He's good in the tackle. He's good in the pass. He's creative. He can take corners. And as much as I thought Bruno might need to leave for Stiller to come in a few months ago, that was when we were playing the midfield too. So with Bruno in the 10, you can easily place Stiller in the midfield. Maybe not with Mainu, but I think this obsession around Mainu needs to stop. Competition for places is key. We're not buying a player to play with Mainu. We're buying 2 midfielders to go straight into the team and compete with Mainu. So you look at somebody like Aston Villa at the weekend. They've currently got no McGinn, no Kamara and no Tielemans, but they have got Onana, they have got Bendia, and they have got that lad on Luis on loan. So you need competition. I also think with Angelo Stiller, you're bringing in the right mentality. He is definitely a Cunha and Burmo type signing who is ready to go out of the box and wants to succeed at the step-up level. He's stepping up, but he's at the right age as well. So I think with Stiller, he comes straight into the team. There's an adaptation in relation to the Premier League, but you know, I think if you watch him, you'd realise that he's not the sort of player that's going to struggle adapting to the Premier League or La Liga or any other league in that sense. So I'd be very, very happy with Angelo Stiller, and he would be one of my first signings. My second signing, and look, I mean, this one probably doesn't. So I've gone with a midfielder. My next signing is a left back. I think it can't over prioritise the midfield, the left back, but it certainly can. And I have said it before, smash a like on the video if you agree. I believe that left back is now more important than a left winger. And there might not be a left winger in my top 5. We'll have to wait and see. But left back has to be a priority this summer, in my opinion, because Luke Shaw, who's going to be 31 in the summer, isn't up. I don't think he's been particularly good at left back. I think his best games this season have been at left centre back. He doesn't put crosses in. He doesn't go forward. He's almost like a third centre back playing on the left hand side. So Luke Shaw as left back next season concerns me. Also, it's not a World Cup or Euro year, so will he be available? And after that, Dorgu, Leon, Amas, they're all young players. So I don't think we can go into next season with. Somebody said this the other day. We've got Luke Shaw and we've got Dorgu and we've got Leon and we've got Amas. We don't need a left back. And I went, well, you think Luke Shaw's good enough then? No, but we've got the other lads. But the other lads are all young. So you're basically saying, let's pick young lads because you don't rate Luke Shaw. We need a left back. We need a starting left back. We need somebody who's ready to go. And I think all these players that we need to bring in the summer can't be projects. They can't be learner drivers. They've got to go into the team and make us better instantly because next season is not going to be transitional. We're going to have to deliver. This year was meant to be the transitional year where you get Champions League football. Next year can't be, oh, let's have a go. We've got to go again. So Lewis Hall, for me, I think is the best option. There are good left-backs out there. I do like Truffert at Bournemouth, and I think he's an interesting signing. He would be cheaper. He's Premier League proven now, and he would deliver down that left-hand side. And I wouldn't rule out Truffert from Bournemouth. I think he'd be a very clever signing, actually. But Lewis Hall would be the premium signing. A brilliant player going forward. Very, very young still. Very, very good in the tackle. Tremendous energy. I think he's the perfect fit, Lewis Hall. And that's where I would go with my left back. Now, the next one's probably going to cause might need to put a hat on here. I want a right back. I want a right back in my signings. And, you know, I went through quite a few. I thought about Livramento at Newcastle. I thought, well, that's not going to be realistic if you're going to go for Lewis Hall. And also he's going to be very expensive. I thought about Ryerson at Dortmund. And I thought he was very interesting. But instantly I know the club won't do it because he's not Premier League proven and he's over 26. Then I thought about Martinez at Crystal Palace. But he's 30. This year. So that's, even I would say, for a right back that you want to go back and forth, at 30 years of age for a right back, I think that might, because I think fullback is arguably the hardest position. You know, we've seen it with Luke Shaw. He can't go back and forth anymore. I think if you're a midfielder like Bruno and you're 31, you can do it. I think, but back and forth as a fullback, it's very difficult. So that ruled him out. I'd love to go for someone like Hakimi, but I actually thought Pedro Porro, I think he's around mid-20s. He's really good going forward. He's reasonable as a fullback. And there might be a deal to be done there. And I thought, you know what? Not every signing has to be star quality. Not every signing has to be, you know, take your breath away. Berlin. If you get that reference, you know what I'm on about. And I thought Pedro Porro, especially if Spurs go down, I'd be all over that. And as I say, a summer transfer window doesn't have to be, you know, worldy after worldy after worldy. Some of these signings, like I said, if we went for Truffert at left back and Porro at right back, I'd be very happy with that because I'd go, I actually think I don't think people realise how poor Dalot and Luke Shaw are in reality. They're not terrible, but just the upgrade. Look, it's a little bit like Onana in goal. Onana's not the worst goalkeeper in the world, but he's not very good. You bring Le Mans in, I don't think Le Mans is the best goalkeeper in the world, but he does everything really well. And I think potentially he can become that. But the upgrade, just because he can do everything well, is incredible. And I think if we had Porro and Lewis Hall at fullback, the improvement in this team would be incredible. And we're talking about improving other areas as well, but having two fullbacks that go back and forward, can put crosses in and defend, comparable to two fullbacks that they do struggle and they don't go forward in the way that we want them to. So look, by all means, you get your 5 in, but my 3 so far, Stiller, Lewis Hall, Porro. I'm loving this, by the way. I'm absolutely loving this. Actually, just talking about defenders, if you are watching, hopefully you're not watching this in 6 months' time because, well, why would you? The summer transfer window will be gone. But we have just had some news coming in. I'm not live tonight because I'm on That's Football doing the Champions League games, double header. That Martinez is not available for the Villa game on Sunday. So that knock, again, is more like nearly a month. Because when he got it, and it must be 2 or 3 weeks ago now, it was like, oh, it's not that bad. But not available for Villa, that's a month out. And you know, this is where I don't trust Man United on injuries. They do it with Mason Mount. They've now done it with Martinez. Oh, it's nothing too bad. I think if a player is missing for more than 2 weeks, that's a significant injury. So we've been lied to again, haven't we, by the club? Oh, it's only a knock. It's nothing too bad. When I think about a knock, I think they're back for the next game. I don't think they're out for 3 or 4 weeks. So look, United are free to do what they want around injuries, but I think they have become, for a team that's only fighting for the Champions League and only playing 40 games this season, I think we could have been a little bit more honest with our fans around injuries and said, yeah, he's out for about a month. And that is a significant period of time. But yet again, it's just a knock. You know, De Ligt, oh yeah, De Ligt's been out for nearly 5 months. So yeah, a little bit of honesty would have been nice because I was really expecting Martinez to be back for this game. And if he's not back for this game, is he back for Bournemouth? And if he's not back for Bournemouth, the international break, it's nearly 2 months. So there we go. Right. Signing number 3 for me is... Sorry, not signing number 4. Tonali. I mean, look, I've got Stiller. These 5... Just think about my 5 signings, by the way. I've got Stiller. I've got Hall. I've got Porro. I've got 2 fullbacks I believe in. I've got Stiller, who I believe in. And now I've brought Tonali in. Oh, my God. People in the chat are saying, don't even bother with signing number 5, Goldbridge. You've just solved everything. We can do it with 4. But this is the difference between what I would do and what you would do, but more importantly, what the club would do. Are the club going to get Pedro Porro, Lewis Hall, Stiller and Tonali? And price-wise, I'm probably getting them 4 players for well under 200 million quid. I'm not paying 90 million for Tonali. That's a load of bollocks. I'm getting Tonali for about 70. I'm getting Stiller for under 50. Truffert for, yeah, I'm getting those 4 players all for under 200 million. And considering we want United to spend about 253, these are, you know, Elliot Anderson and Balaby, you've spent nearly 150 million already. So just think about the prices of these players. I would say Lewis Hall, 50. Truffert, 30 to 40. Stiller, 40 to 50. Tonali, 70. And I think, you know, add that up. But look, Tonali, I don't need to wax lyrical about this guy. It's going to be a difficult deal to do, but with Manchester United, who else can say you're going to start in our midfield every game? I don't think Arsenal can say that. Maybe Real Madrid can say that, and if we're up against Real Madrid, it's tough. But in the Premier League, I don't think anybody can. If he wants to stay in the Premier League, I think Man United's perfect for him. He's exactly what we need. I think if you had a midfield too of Stiller and Tonali, by the way, with Manu competing with them, we still need somebody else. Still think we need somebody else. I don't think Agate's staying, so I actually think we need 3 midfielders. But look, there are midfield combinations, and I do like Elliot Anderson. I do like Elliot Anderson, and I have said for a long time Anderson and Stiller would be my 2. However, I think if you said it's Tonali and Stiller, I would say let Man City have Elliot Anderson. I'd believe in that because I just think the type of midfielder Tonali is, he literally is a player that can sit and conduct and control. And I think if you've got your 2 fullbacks, like I've got, bombing forward, you've got 2 centre-backs that can give Tonali the ball. You've got Stiller who can support him but also be creative. Bruno ahead of that. I think we become I think with the midfield, our midfield and our fullbacks ain't that good. If we can solve that problem this summer in 4 signings, we are cooking quite literally. So Tonali definitely for me. Right age as well. Every one of these players is either around 25 or experienced in the Premier League. So look, I think it's so important, and I've said it before in this video, it's so important that we hit the ground running. None of this belabor stuff. None of these 20-year-olds, like, we've got to hit the ground running. No fullback that's again for the future. Hit the ground running signings and we will succeed. I'm absolutely convinced. So my final one, and remember to get your 5 in, my final one sort of contradicts that in a little way, but I'm so happy with the previous 4 that I'm willing to take Diomande from Leipzig, who, a little bit like Sesko, is young, one to nurture, but incredible talent. And I think there's no people will say, oh, hypocrite, you've gone for a younger player, but I've also gone for 4 established players who will come into your team and hit the ground running. 4 players that they either flop or succeed. It's not, are they going to succeed when they've been nurtured? Baleba isn't a flop straight away if he doesn't do well, because you've got to teach him first. The 4 I've mentioned, they go straight into the team. Now, Diomande, if you think about it with young players, what young players tend to do well? Wayne Rooney, Michael Owen, Mason Greenwood, Marcus Rashford, what have they all got in common? Attackers. How many teenagers have we thrown into our team over the years that have been holding midfielders or centre-backs or full-backs? There's not loads, but there's a lot of attackers, and that's the thing. You can throw an attacker in because as long as they've got a strong team behind them, look at Ronaldo when he was a kid at United, you sort of go and express yourself without pressure. And I think with those 4 other signings, Diomande on the left wing, go and express yourself. Go out there and enjoy yourself. An incredible talent where you just go, we've got you covered, go and express yourself. And I think that's when you can bring Diomande in. I don't mind a younger player being brought into this team when you've just gone and bought 4 players like I've bought. So I'd be very happy to have him in the team. We do need an out-and-out winger. He can play off the right as well. I'll be very happy with it. And I tell you what, I put a lot into this video. There's players, like I said, that nearly got in, but I would be over the moon with that 5. And maybe a couple of others, sort of, squad players, but I'd be over the moon with that 5. So let me know your thoughts. Make sure you smash a like on the video. Get your comments in as well. I'm very interested to see your 5 because I did think it through. I was like, I want a right back, I want a left back, I want 2 midfielders and a winger. They're my 5 priority positions. I want more than 5, but if I can only have 5, they're what I want. And these are the players I want. And the vast majority of them go straight into the team with Premier League experience Stiller comes in with Bundesliga experience, but ready to prove himself, ready to go. And then Diamonde is the young player that you can, I say nurture him. He could hit the, when you look at him at Leipzig, you say nurture. He could hit the ground running as well. So I'd be very, very happy with those players. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you want to join me live tonight, I'm over on That's Football doing the Champions League, Barcelona, Newcastle. But thanks everyone for watching. Get your comments in. I'm looking forward to the comments, and I'll speak to you on the next one. Back live at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Take care.